Ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. military shot down a high altitude object that was flying over Alaska. This is less than a week. No, it's about a week because they shot down the Chinese balloon over the U.S. That was this past Saturday. And today they shot down another object, they're just calling it an object, over the state of Alaska. So they said the object was about the size of a car, flying about 40,000 feet, posing a threat to civilians. So the US military downed a high altitude object spotted over the skies of Alaska. The White House said Friday, this is the second time in less than a week, that the Air Force jet fired a craft that intruded into U.S. airspace. The object was flying about an altitude of 40,000 feet and posed a reasonable threat to the safety of civilians. John Kirby, the National Security Council coordinator for strategic communication, told reporters at the White House. So the object did not initially appear to belong to a government defense official said. The US sent up an F-35S to survey the object. The Pentagon said the object was first spotted north of Anchorage and it traveled northeast. This is according to defense officials. The military downed the object in the US territorial waters at the recommendation of President Biden, Mr. Kirby said. Biden was briefed on the matter Thursday night and gave the order to shoot down the object on Friday morning. In brief remarks at the White House on Friday afternoon, the president called the operation a success. So who knows what it was? They're really not saying too much about exactly what it was in this article with the Wall Street Journal, but it is talking about Biden administration, and they're saying that it didn't appear to be sophisticated in capacity, so it appeared to be an unmanned object that was flying over Alaska. Now, I'm not sure. It don't sound like it was a balloon again, you know? And it would seem odd that China would send another thing floating over here just days after the first surveillance balloon was shot down. I don't know. I don't know if this was China again or not. They did not really say. They didn't really say. So I'm sure they're going to have to recover the debris that fell onto the ground or in the ocean. And once they recover it, they probably will be able to determine where it came from. So they said at this time they did not attempt to reach out to China like they did last week when the spy balloon was shot down traveling across the US. The Chinese embassy in Washington didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Later Friday, the US Commerce Department added six Chinese companies it said were involved in the balloon program to its so called entry list, which bars US companies from supplying them. So the action was another step by the Biden administration to restrict exports of Western technology that China could use to advance its military capabilities. The Biden administration last year slapped export controls on manufacturing equipment China could use to develop advanced semiconductors needed to for cutting edge military systems. So the US and the Federation, they're talking about the FAA, okay, and monitors control the airspace up to 60,000 feet for commercial and military traffic. Broad international agreements exist. The airspace under 60,000 feet is the dominion of the nation that controls the ground below it. The FAA said Friday that it had closed some airspace in northern Alaska to support the Department of Defense activities. So, wow, who knows? Who knows? I mean, when you start talking about Alaska, then you're not far from China and Russia at that point, But so the Pentagon said the Air Force craft were over the recovery site, tracking site. So they're looking at a flight radar 24 showed an Air Force HC 130J aircraft flying offshore around the area northeast of Pudhoe Bay. So they decline any further description of the object at this time. So we don't know what it is, but it don't sound like it was another balloon. They're saying an unmanned object. They're not saying anything about a balloon or anything similar to the balloon that they shot down last Saturday. So, I mean, who knows what's going on? But I don't know. Did the U.S. piss somebody off? Is this why it's happening? Who knows? But what do they say? War and rumors of war in the Bible. So we'll see how the US respond or if they can figure out where this unmanned object came from. Who knows right now? But I'm sure probably in the coming week they'll probably come forward and say a little more about it. Right now, it looks like they're still recovering whatever they shot down, and we'll see if there's any updates on this story. I will let you know. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.